Have you ever encountered a situation so overwhelmingly difficult that your immediate instinct was to retreat into the safety of inaction? Most of us have experienced moments where fear, doubt, or uncertainty paralyzed our ability to move forward. Now, imagine bearing the unimaginable burden of ruling an entire empire while simultaneously confronting brutal wars, devastating plagues, political betrayals, and the heartbreaking loss of loved ones. This was the daily reality for Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher and emperor of Rome. What makes his story remarkable isn't that he never experienced fear. It's that he developed an unshakable system of thought that allowed him to acknowledge his fears while still moving forward with clarity and purpose. The personal journal he kept during these turbulent times, now celebrated as meditations, wasn't written for publication or praise. These were intimate notes, a warrior emperor's private dialogue with himself, filled with reminders about how to live with virtue during life's most difficult moments. Today, we'll carefully examine 5 transformative principles from his writings that can help modern individuals like you and me confront our own fears and cultivate genuine courage in our daily lives. But before we explore these lessons, I want you to take a moment for serious self-reflection. Can you recall a specific instance in the past month where fear prevented you from taking an important action? Perhaps it was hesitating to voice your opinion in a meeting, delaying an important career move due to self-doubt, or avoiding a difficult conversation with someone you care about. Hold that memory in your mind as we progress through these teachings, because by the end of our discussion, you'll have practical, philosophical tools to approach similar situations with greater wisdom and bravery. 1. The solution-focused mindset. Why blame keeps you stagnant? Deep reflection. Question: when problems arise in your life, do you instinctively search for who or what to hold responsible? Or do you immediately begin strategizing possible solutions? Our psychological tendency to assign blame rather than seek solutions represents one of the most common manifestations of inner cowardice. This happens because blaming provides temporary emotional relief. It externalizes responsibility and protects our ego from acknowledging our own potential role in the situation. However, as Marcus Aurelius astutely observed in his meditations, this approach ultimately leaves us powerless. Blame no one. Set people straight if you can. If not, just repair the damage. And if you can't do that either, then where does blaming get you? Nowhere productive. It only breeds resentment and inaction. Consider the profound example of Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership during the civil rights movement. Faced with systemic racism and violent opposition, he could have easily mobilized people through anger and blame. Instead, he demonstrated extraordinary emotional and philosophical maturity by recognizing that many prejudiced individuals were themselves victims of their upbringing and environment. We must realize that so many people are taught to hate us that they are not totally responsible for their hate. Practical application. Identify one current challenge in your life where you've been focusing more on assigning blame than creating solutions. Now, write down 3 concrete actions you could take to improve the situation, regardless of who was originally at fault. Notice how this shift in perspective immediately creates a sense of empowerment and possibility. Second, decisive action. The antidote to paralysis by analysis. Thought-provoking. Question: can you recall a time when excessive deliberation caused you to miss an important opportunity or delay taking necessary action? The phenomenon of overthinking represents one of the most subtle yet powerful forms of cowardice in modern life. Ancient Greek philosophers identified this condition as akrasia, the state of acting against one's own better judgment due to hesitation and excessive deliberation. A beautiful illustration of this concept appears in The Centipede's Dilemma, a cautionary poem where a centipede who walks perfectly well suddenly becomes paralyzed when asked to consciously explain how it coordinates its 100 legs. Marcus Aurelius addressed this human tendency with his characteristic clarity. Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Free yourself from all other distractions. The present moment is the only place where true courage can manifest, because it's the only place where action is possible. Behavioral challenge. The next time you find yourself stuck in a cycle of what-if scenarios, interrupt the pattern by asking, what's the smallest, most manageable step I can take right now to move forward? Remember that imperfect action always trumps perfect inaction. The very act of movement, no matter how small, begins to dissolve fear's grip on your psyche. If these insights resonate with you, I warmly invite you to join our growing community of thoughtful individuals by subscribing to this channel. Here's why this matters. Your subscription and engagement enable me to continue creating this in-depth content. Plus, it tells the YouTube algorithm that these kinds of thoughtful discussions deserve wider visibility in our often superficial digital landscape. Simply hit the subscribe button and notification bell. I promise to continue providing content worthy of your time and attention. And now, they're here for you. The real question isn't whether these ideas are profound. We've seen that they are. The real question is, what will you do with them? Will you let them collect dust as interesting thoughts, or will you put them into practice today, right now? Because that's where true transformation begins, not in hearing wisdom, but in applying it. So I'll leave you with one final challenge. Pick one principle we've discussed today, just one, and live it fully this week. Test it, see what changes. The Stoics didn't promise an easy life, but they did promise something better, a life of meaning, resilience, and inner freedom. Remember what Marcus Aurelius wrote? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. May you find that strength today and every day after. If you found value in this discussion, consider sharing it with one person in your life who might benefit from this perspective. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is a new way to see things. And see you next video.